You're listening to Seattle Real Estate Podcast.
So this is that one podcast a month I do where I read through the entire stats released by the Northwest Multiple Listing Service. When I get to the end of this, I think a lot of people are like, okay, man, you could have cut that down to just a couple of sentences. So I'm going to give you those couple of sentences right now so that you can take that to your cocktail party and do whatever you need to with it to impress people with your real estate knowledge and not have to stick around for the whole podcast. All right, so here we go. Prices continue to rise. We had some snow. Inventory is still low. Interest rates are still low. Buyers still outnumber the number of homes in the market. Done. Okay, you can leave now. You can go. Okay, so if we have a huge drop off on the YouTube viewership after this point, I get it. But hey, I gave you fair warning. You can leave. It's totally okay. You do you. All right, that's what we're going to check out right now. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of what's going on in the Puget Sound real estate market, if you're new here, thanks for joining. My name's Sean Reynolds. I own a couple of real estate companies, and I read the news. Sometimes it's even real estate news. Imagine that. Seattle Real Estate Podcast. All right, let's get into it. This is where the MLS sends out statistics at the beginning of each month that kind of summarize what's going on the previous month. So we're talking about February 2021. We are exactly 1 year from where we were right on the front end of the Rona, right? So it's going to be interesting. The next few months, we're going to have stats. We're going to be able to identify March of 2020 compared to March of 2021. What does that look like? Those numbers are going to be very, very different. Right now, we're at February. Let's see what happens. Housing activity during February remained hot around much of Western Washington, despite significant accumulation of lowland snow. We had some snow. That really is news here in Seattle. We had lowland snow. Oh my gosh. And that was over Valentine's Day weekend. According to latest statistical report from the Northwest Multiple Listing Services, snow. That makes the news. It's amazing how close the February numbers are when compared to February 2020, which was, of course, right before our world changed, said Mike Grady, president and CEO of Coldwell banker Bain. Despite our similarly lousy February weather, the data show that the market conditions continue to be hot, smoking hot, not like the snowy weather, which was cold. And we had snow coming out of the sky. With residential inventory very tight and median prices rising by double digits across most of the counties. Same thing happened. Market continued to go up. Inventory continued to be reduced. Same drill, right? Same drill. Northwest MLS figures show brokers added a similar number of new listings of single-family homes and condos last month as a year ago for a difference of 368 properties. So we were down 4.7%. That was for residential units. There was a 6% year-over-year drop, excluding condos. Total active listings of single-family homes declined nearly 44% from a year ago. So for all of you bubble boys out there who don't really understand real estate but predict a crash is coming, when you have an inventory decline of nearly 44% from a year ago, guess what? You don't have enough inventory in the marketplace to have a crash. Period. Take that to the bank, right? Well, how come, Sean? Well, you need a bunch of inventory in the market for it to chase its way down. We don't have that. We still have massive buyer demand in the marketplace, fueled by interest rates, which have gone up just recently since this article was written. But I don't think it's going to be enough to offset the amount of buyer demand out there. The selection of single-family homes fell to more than 51%, while condo inventory rose 7.9%. What's going on? People don't want to live in small little places like condos. They don't want to have to do their gym routine, their school routine, their work routine, their pet routine, their kid routine in a little two-bedroom condo. And that's why those haven't sold as well, and inventory is up. A decline in listing volume this year should not surprise anyone, remarked James Young, director of the Washington Center for Real Estate Research at the University of Washington. We are virtually sold out of unsold inventory everywhere in the central Puget Sound area except the Seattle city core, he said. This was John Lennox Scott, chairman and CEO of John L. Scott Real Estate, except the Seattle City core. What is happening in the Seattle City core that would make it where you got plenty of inventory? I can't imagine. I don't really know. No clue. There are only about 3 weeks of supply, 0.74 months of inventory in the MLS database, which covers 26 counties. Okay, so for residential only, excluding condos, the shortage is more pronounced at only about 0.67 months supply. So we're right around, call it 3 weeks of supply. What is normal? Between 4 and 6 months of inventory. And that's why we keep talking about this. And that's why all the housing bubble boys are kind of like, right, whatever. Get past that. Condominium shoppers will find somewhat more selection with inventory up 7.93% from a year ago for reasons I just stated, right? And more than a month's supply of inventory, 1.12 months. Versus 4 to 6 of regular balanced market. So even condos are still wildly down. While pending condominium sales were down slightly in King County, it's worth noting that several urban neighborhoods, including Queen Anne, downtown Seattle, and Ballard, performed better than expected. That suggests to me that there might not be the mass exodus from the core urban areas that many have been predicting. So we've been predicting a mass exodus, haven't really seen it, but those areas definitely have been impacted. They're down. Numbers are down for sure. It's hard to get rid of a studio or a one-bedroom condo. It just is. People don't want those right now, especially in downtown areas where none of the cool stuff is open. I did hear, and this is the Seattle insider fact. It's really not. It was on the radio. But whenever I can regurgitate something, I want to, hold it out there as like I'm the only person that knows this, when in fact probably millions of people do. But that's what we do in the media, right? We try and toot our own horn. I don't really know what that was, but yep, we're tooting our own horn. And what was my point? I heard that The Weeknd has a concert scheduled in the new, what's it called? Climate controlled, some ridiculous name arena. Something to do with climate. Why are we naming our arena after climate? I don't, that's beyond me. But The Weeknd, who performed at the Super Bowl, not really a fan. I just don't really care about The Weeknd. I think it's not good music. But, who am I to say? I like a lot of music that other people are like, what are you? You need to grow up. You need to become an adult and not a 14-year-old teenager at some rock concert. Well, whatever. Don't like The Weeknd, but he is scheduled for a concert in our climate-controlled, whatever remodeled arena it is in downtown Seattle, the Seattle City Center. Used to be Key Arena, used to be Seattle City Center Arena, and for March of 2022. So a year from now, we might be able to see The Weeknd. That's progress. That is real progress, because that means some insurance carrier has underwritten an insurance policy for a year from now. I think you'll have concerts before that, but maybe it's just part of The Weeknd's tour. I don't know. Is everybody going to go on tour? I think so, because those guys need money. Talk about an industry that has been decimated. How about all the roadies, all the promoters, all the venue people that work at this stuff, the musicians themselves, their families, decimated. I had tickets to a show, Kings of Leon. I can't remember who it was. We're going to go in last April, and I ended up donating them to a roadie cause because I feel bad. Plus, they had rescheduled the show twice already, and I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to be able to see this, and I can't keep track of my tickets for that long. So donated them. I still do have my tickets from last, what was it, Coachella? I really wanted to go see Rage Against the Machine at Coachella. That didn't happen. That was last April. I've still got that ticket. That's not a cheap ticket. I think that was $600. I am going to go to Coachella one day, and it'll be fun. Yeah, that's just something you need to do in your mid-50s, right? I mean, that's the right place to go. Nearly 6 out of every 10 pending sales of condos took place in King County last month because that's where all the condos are. And this is according to the MLS report. Pending activity nearly matched the year-ago totals for that county. 716, some boring numbers there. Gardner said it was particularly interesting to see the jump in pending sales in the Puget Sound region from January and February. For the Tri-County area encompassing King, Pierce, and Snohomish counties, those are the three local areas right around here, the MLS report shows that there were a bunch of pending sales in January and a bunch of pending sales in February for a month-to-month gain of 6.9%. You don't need to hear me read all those ridiculous numbers, do you? You don't care. I don't care. If I don't care, you don't care. So there was a gain. That's the bottom line. There was more pending sales. So you got more sales happening, stripping out inventory. Bottom line, right? All right. This tells me that neither the snowstorm that hit the region nor the jump in mortgage rates deterred buyers who were still out in force last month. Now, rates last month in February, they had not jumped up yet, I don't think. Let's not squabble over details, right? Lennox Scott also noted the slight increase in mortgage rates, saying it created a mini power surge of sales activity intensity. Okay, rates will come back down. Freddie Mac reported an average rate of 3.02% for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage for the week ending March 4th. That's up 5 basis points from the previous week, and the first time since July 2020 that the benchmark mortgage rate climbed above 3%. All right, so they're up, but it's not like they went to 9 or 10%. They didn't go to double digits. They're up, what, 0.25%, 0.5%, somewhere in there? It's not a huge jump. It's a little bit, and it will impact some of those buyers, what they can afford, obviously a little bit, but it's not a huge number. Despite rates edging up and inclement weather during much of February, 8 counties in the MLS report showed year-over-year gains in pending sales. So we've just got this continual, there's more sales going on. There's no inventory. Interest rates are really low. Lots of people want to buy a home. That just kind of keeps going, right? All right, the system-wide, there were a bunch of pending sales in February, a year-over-year drop of 7.5%, but compared to January, pending volume was up 4.5%. So we've got more sales going on. Within King County, Gardner noted suburban markets such as Renton, Burien, and interestingly, West Seattle, given the bridge issue. West Seattle is kind of like an island, and it's an island without a bridge right now. So you can imagine how that's going. Not well. These areas continue to see significant sales activity in February, but so too did more urban markets like Madison Park, Capitol Hill, Ballard, Green Lake, Queen Anne, and Magnolia, all of which reported sizable increases in home sales. So even our crappiest markets are being picked over, our crappiest neighborhoods with Dodge the Human Fecal Matter being played on the sidewalks every day, those neighborhoods are even getting some traction, right? Of the 30 neighborhood areas in the MLS tracks within the King County, 13 of them showed year-over-year increases in pending sales. Northwest Director John Dealey, Executive Vice President of Operations at Coldwell Banker Bain, said, like last year, before we knew what was just around the corner, buyer demand is high. There continues to be opportunities for buyers seeking condos, and median prices are more stable, so that's also good news for buyers. All right. Well, you got one stat there. It doesn't really mean there's good news for buyers. I don't see much in the way of good news for buyers out there, just being honest. What's one of those statements like, okay, I can't lie. I can't tell a lie here. You know, when people do that and you're like, well, you could, but you're trying to convince me that you're not. I don't see a lot on the horizon that's really going to make a big difference positively for buyers. Interest rates bumped up. Supply is still super, super low. It's going to take a while to get outside of this one, folks. It really is. On the residential side, excluding condos, Dealey said he is hearing more and more about multiple offer situations. This has been going on for years. Our brokers are working hard to help prepare buyers both emotionally and financially for the realities they face and to help position them as the winning purchaser. With things opening up and open house restrictions eased to allow more people at one time, brokers are also spending a good amount of time preparing their sellers to get comfortable with having people in their homes and to safely facilitate viewings, as well as managing and analyzing all the offers. That's a lot of what I do, is just working with my brokers who work with their buyers, work with their sellers, trying to get through all this craziness. Because you can have open houses. No, you can't have open houses. Here's the restrictions on the open houses. Don't do open houses, because if you follow all the restrictions, it will eliminate the reason that you're there, which is to try and generate buyer leads. Because if you do all the protocols you're supposed to be doing according to COVID restrictions, man, that's all you're going to do. You're not going to even say hi to your buyers, potential buyers walking through. You'll be like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. You know what I mean? Just crazy. Continuing low interest rates, jobs, and lifestyle changes are driving the real estate market. Well, yeah, okay, but those jobs and lifestyle changes, those are always driving real estate markets. But we got to come up with something new to talk about, right? So we're going to make this profound statement that jobs and lifestyle changes are driving the real estate market, said Dean Rubenhoon, owner of Village Homes and Properties, who also noted the uptick in multiple offers. Prepared, aggressive buyers are winning the competition for homes. Okay. Somebody needed a statement to print in this month's news, right? Smart buyers are making substantial offers to sellers prior to the offer review date, and sellers are considering them. We are seeing that. That is true. We have seen some, oh my gosh, how can your seller ignore that offer? Some of those. So let's say you put a house on the market on a Wednesday, and then the offer review date would be maybe like the following Tuesday, something like that. What'll happen is you'll get an offer in over the weekend that is so damn high that you're like, oh, you know what? That's a really good offer. That is way more than we were expecting, even if people did an escalation clause and there's like 6 offers at the end here when we review it all come next Tuesday. It's one of those, we want your house type offers. We are seeing those. And what's happening is I think buyers are getting tired and they don't want to screw around with wondering if they're one of 14 offers that are going to make it. And will they be the winner/loser? Because when I say winner, you get the house, but you're the loser because you have given away every single protection afforded a buyer in a normal market. You've given away your ability to have financing addendum, meaning that if the deal goes south and you can't point to one of these things that you're getting out on, you're going to lose your earnest money. And earnest monies in today's market, they're pretty heavy because you got to have a big earnest money, which is your good faith that, hey, I'm going to close on this deal. You got to have a big earnest money in the deal too to get it. So you're winning the deal, but you are kind of the loser because of the price that you've had to pay, and you've eliminated any and all provisions that protect you as the buyer. So the buyer is both the winner and the loser all at the same time. It's a great market, right? Prepared, aggressive buyers are winning the competition for homes. Smart buyers are making substantial offers to sellers prior to the offer review date, and sellers are considering them. And we've had sellers say, you know what? It's a pretty darn good offer. Let's take it. Let's move on with our lives. This is what we wanted out of it. And those are sellers who are not greedy, who recognize a strong offer when it comes across. And they say, thank you very little. We're going to take that. Let's all move on. And the rest of us go, yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. Scott noted March historically marks the beginning of an 8-month primetime real estate market. After an intense winter in the local real estate market, more new resale listings are on the horizon, he remarked, adding, the intensity we're seeing should come down slightly as more available homes enter the market, but we have to play catch up with pent-up buyer demand first. Yeah, buyer demand is so strong right now, and even with the bump up in interest rates, it's going to outstrip whatever new inventory comes in the market. Boom, done. That's just what's going to happen, right? I mean, this isn't brain surgery. This is real estate, right? Grady expressed similar views. The positive, optimistic mood is unmistakable. That's because spring is around the corner. And we're going to actually see that yellow ball in the sky here in Seattle for more than like one day in a row. There is such a thing as one day in a row. No, there's not. And we expect that to continue as vaccines roll out, talking about the positive, optimistic mood. Things continue opening and projects like the Northgate Link Light Rail Station. We don't care. We are bullish on the market this spring and frankly, for the rest of the year. Bring on the Roaring 20s version 2.0. That's a reference to in the Roaring 20s. Yeah, the 1920s, things went crazy. Are we about to go crazy before a massive crash at the end of the decade? I don't know. A lot of people are talking about that, right? So yeah, that is it. So much news about the same topics. I'm not even going to do a recap because you guys understand what the drill is. And so what things are going to change? Well, you did have a little jump up in interest rates. Yep. You've got all-time historically low inventory. We've got people recognizing that they are going to be going back to work in the downtown cores. That is a happening for sure. And a lot of these things that were once closed in downtown cores, those are going to start to slowly open up, right? Just like Florida has been for months. Oh, take me to Florida. No, you know what? Take me to Maui. This is my last podcast until I go to Maui, which is, I'm recording this on a Friday afternoon. I will be in Maui in 2 days. Taking off on Sunday. I get there early Sunday afternoon because you lose 2 hours going there. So you go back in time. It's amazing. But I'm going to record some content there. I'm going to talk about some of the things going on in the Hawaiian Islands because they've been down. About 90% of their income comes from tourism. And guess how tourism has been going? Not well for the last month. So I'm going to cover a bunch of the topics there locally, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. But yeah, that's it. That is it for this month's Not Market in a Minute. I also do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the script from this for a 1-minute video that a lot of people like because it cuts down on all the ridiculousness that you guys just endured throughout this podcast, which is the long version of the February stats from the Northwest Multiple Listing Service. All right. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around for so long. You guys should get a medal. You guys should get a participation medal. Okay. That's it. All right. Thanks for being here. We'll catch up soon, guys. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when our next video is out.